morning everyone, welcome in this class. Today we will start our chapter number 10, that is Law and Social Justice. In this chapter we will discuss why law and social justice is important in our society, why government make certain laws to protect people from inhuman treatment, inequalities, exploitations, etc. And why only government is responsible to make laws, why we common people, why we can't make laws. So all this we discuss in this chapter. So let's see. We all know that in market, when we go to market, we find different shops, different people, different customer coming and buying different products. In this market, it's not only the place where you get the product, where they sell only the product. Here we also find people who sell their services to the shopkeepers. It may be a farmer who has worked hard for 70 to 90 days and finally he made a product. Let us state grain, food grain like wheat grain, rice grain, paddy, vegetables or anything. He brings it to the markets and it there by himself or by selling it to the wholesale shopkeepers. So in this process of getting these people done, the farmer does not get his own thing by himself. If he carrying huge amount like heavy weight like 20 kg bags or 30 kg bags, it is difficult for him to carry along. So he takes the help of some helpers or some auto or some rickshaw puller. So in the journey, he has to pay amount for them. So like this, it passes through various hands and finally comes and reaches there. So market does not mean only the place where we do shopping. We generally refer the term market to different scenario. We say global market, globally economic. We cover the entire market activities under single word called global market. Construction industry. We may have a factory where construction is going on. No, all the construction activities together we bring under bracket called construction industries. Film industry, we get the entire film in it can be Hollywood, Bollywood or any other regional film. All together we call it as the film industry. Like this, when we call a market, we are not just describing only about the activities which are open or happen at a place where you sell and buy the commodities. It will we are referring to the situation of place where the exchange of goods can happen, exchange of the services can happen. What is your market value there? Means you are going to a vegetable shop and selling yourself? No. Here, when we refer to the market value of you, we are discussing what is a value which is being paid in cash for you when you render your services for a particular activity. If you are a doctor, you do an operation, will be paid certain amount of fees for the service what you have done. Here, the doctor is not selling himself for the work. He is actually rendering his services in term. He is returning back by getting some amount paid to him. Like this, the market value of everyone is important. But when it comes to market in our lesson here, in the market like in the construction market, in the labor market, the laborers, those who render services daily to earn money, physically those who do lots of hard work come under labor. These people are paid very less. So how can this be stopped? Why can they paid very less, and what are the steps that taken by the government? That's what we are going to discuss in this Lesson. Market. The entire scenario in the society covers under the word market. Now, according to this lesson meaning, government, what is the role of the government in checking the exploitation which is happening to the people, those who are working for very less wages, those who work for the those who work from the early morning to late in the night, but they are paid 60 to 100 rupees, which is really very less amount. So that kind of exploitation has to be stopped by the government by making laws. In the government, if the government makes laws, it is sufficient to say that exploitation of the worker will not happen further? The answer is sadly no. Just only making the laws does not get any solution for any problem. The implementation of the law should happen effectively. Every people, every citizen, every worker should know what are his rights. Every management should be bound to enforce that principle as per the law. What are the rights that has been granted to the workers that has to be given to them? So all these things we will be discussing in this lesson with an example and comparative study. How was the laws in our country and in other countries? The government will make certain laws for the labor, like fixing the minimum amount of wage rate for them, but by the private contractors, those who are employed in the private sector or working under the government project, they will be entitled to get exactly what the government has decided for them to do. But coming to the private sector, open market, you don't get much payment what is promised by the government. The workers are paid very less amount, but they are forced to do lot of hard works. When the workers are paid very less amount, the government has already fixed the minimum wage amount, that this much amount, for 8 hours they work, they have to pay some 200 rupees or 300 rupees. Let us think it as an fixed amount for the wage. Like if he works for 8 hours, he has to be paid 300 rupees, but private peoples will pay only 100 to 150 rupees. Even workers also know that they have to be paid this much amount, but why do they don't respond when the private people are not paying that much? Fear. They are afraid that they may not be called again for work, because it is private sector where it is a perfectly profit motive for that privately individual. The private individual run the industry or factory or compete in the market to earn profit. They run with the profit motive only. So when they want to make profit, they try to reduce as much as they can reduce by reducing the wages what they are giving to the workers. By reducing the spending extra what they are spending, and they want to increase their profit share, so the government has to check all this seriously. So how can a government check? Government has already fixed the wages and mentioned it openly to all of us. Government should also make certain laws. Once the laws are made, it become easy for the workers to force the private people also to pay as per the law. If there are any labor laws in place that you have to work for only 8 hours, you have to pay this much compulsory, you have to give this benefit to the workers, then definitely some amount of pressure will be building up on the workers, employers who is employing them. They will be scared that yes, if you are employing this many people, we have to give these facilities to them. And in order to make these laws implement successfully, effectively, so all the workers will get benefits of this, and no private employer will force them to make them to get fearful and make them to do more works. This kind of things all have to check by doing regular rights by the government officials coming there, going to the spot, checking, asking the workers whether they have doing properly or not, whether they are getting the benefits properly or not. Moving to the ground reality from the office level, the government employees move to the ground reality, and at the grassroots level, what is actually happening there, why the people are getting so scared if these people are not providing employment, there are no other source of employment like this. The government has to go to the ground level and try to find out whether the laws are implemented properly or not, and try to punish the people, especially the private management who are not try to implement it. Private individuals who don't pay according to the law has to be brought under punishment, so that no other private management or no other private individuals would dare to skip the laws. So these all are very, very important steps which makes the law to ensure social justice to the people. Many of the laws which are being made is to arrest or to stop the exploitation of the workers. It can be in any manner. When we refer to the term worker here, we are not referring only to the team who are employed, who are educated, who are not skilled, who are semi-skilled. We are also talking about the children who are working under various hazardous conditions. Now, all the laws are having their base somewhere. When you study the fundamental rights, you get extensions of fundamental rights only as new laws which are coming into effect. Like, for example, the right against exploitation. Any of the children is not supposed to be exploited as per the law. Any children who is less than 14 years of age is not permitted to work under any industry or any factory or any place. But in reality, if you can check now, you will find many people, especially the children, because of poverty, because of lack of proper family, they may be struggling to work there because their father may not be feeling well, their mother may not be feeling well, they don't have someone to help them economically, so the situation force him to work for very less amount under a very young age. The court, as per 2001 census, found that 12 million people, especially the children aged between 5 to 14 years, are employed in various hazardous works. And coming to the 2006 statistics, in October, government has banned the child labor working in restaurants, dhabas, or in the tea shops, and it also made it compulsory a strong rule that if anyone employs any child in a restaurant or any dhaba or in any other shop, he will be given a punishment of 3 months to 2 months, 3 months to 2 years of imprisonment and 10,000 to 20,000 rupees of fine amount. This law has been come into effect from 2006. As per the latest statistics, 74% of the children are employed in the restaurants, dhabas, and in tea shops whose age is less than 16 years. Though the act was passed some year ago, it has been very difficult to show its impact on the people, those who were employing the children. When the governments were asked by the court to rehabilitate the children who are working in the tea shops or in dhabas or in various restaurants, try to find out them, trace them, bring them out of restaurants, dhabas and tea shops, and provide some rehabilitation for them, giving chance for them to get educated. Like this, when court ordered to them to set up a board and look after into this issue, till date only 3 states out of 29 states have come out. Not 29, 28 states. 3 states out of 28 states have come out. They are Maharashtra, Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. Only in these 3 states we have a board which is set up to look into the matter of the children's concern, to find out in which restaurant, in which dhaba, in which tea shops we have small children working less than age of 16 years, have to be rehabilitated, have to be rescued from there. So now coming to the ground reality here, it is also not assured 100% that Maharashtra, in Karnataka or in Tamil Nadu you don't find child labor working at all. At least some steps are being taken when it compared to the other 28 states. The rest of the 25 out of 28 did not even respond to the request made by the court, and when the law has been come into place and getting it into implemented, there is a lot of gap. Getting a law is itself a very difficult task. An example for this, we have women reservation bill in pending from the past 60 years. So getting the women reservation bill to get implemented, to get into a law, has taken to go through many hurdles, where somehow the other it get hurdled up and stopped. So getting a law is itself a very difficult task, and once the law comes into effect, then also whether it will be implemented properly or not, whether the laws get into the place properly, whether the people, those who have to get benefited from this, will they getting the benefit properly or not. So all these things are interlinked. When we talk about the state who are implementing this, we don't know whether the 100% rehabilitation of children happening here or not. When the law is not at all implemented, when there is no work to check these issues, then the conditions can be worst. So this is all about today's class. This much for today. We will continue this chapter in our next class.